peripheral vascular disease.
The good times are rolling in South Louisiana. Houma 48-6 out in front of Evansville in the final regular season game of the year. The Bucks will not play next week. Most of the rest of the league will. Houma will get a chance to rest and prepare for the Lake Charles Land Sharks on July 12th. Roberson will shoot it downfield on 4th down. It's incomplete. In and out of the hands of Carrawell on the far sideline.
Ball hit Carrawell right in the basket, but he couldn't come up with it.
Michael Burks has a couple of touchdown runs today for Houma. Tyrone Hughes, an interception return for a score. Tyler DeHerd a couple of times on long bombs to the end zone. A 45-yard field goal by Stropolo. And Aubrey Jones to Causey for a touchdown reception on the last possession by Houma. So Aubrey Jones, who tossed a touchdown pass last time, will go back into the ball game for his second series.
Now, will Jack Phillips just run it, or will he continue to chunk it? He's really worked on the passing game, and the Bucks have looked so much better in the second half offensively. He's going to pass some more.
Against the blitz, Jones steps out of a tackle looking for a block, gets one. Now he'll run to the 15, to the 14.
Well, Aubrey Jones showing that he's not the only quarterback on the roster that can run the football. I mean, he is sacked right there, but he breaks the tackle of Todd Basic and was able to get all the way down to the 14-yard line. So some good wheels by Aubrey Jones.
And the clock continues to move. There are 70 seconds left in the regular season for the Bucks. And they go to the ground. And into the end zone. Darian Chestnut. Well, he's dropped a couple of passes today, but he didn't drop that one.
Yeah, he's having a tough time catching it, so they gave it to Mr. Chestnut. They hand it to him this time, and he breaks another tackle by the linebacker Basic, and then scats all the way into the end zone. Shows some big-time speed right there. Jack Phillips just took a little 10K dunk by his club, who celebrated a little bit early on him.
Roger Green was out leading the charge. And now they've got to clear the ice out of the end zone. Where's a push broom when you need it?
And I think everybody's running to get one.
Well, you don't see ice on the field in the indoor game very often, do you?
Not unless you're playing Austin.
Yeah, then it's under the field.
They had a little bit of ice when they played in Austin. And there you see Jack yucking it up with the
He's a
supporters.
nice guy, too, Jack Phillips. Very approachable. Demeanor, at least with us, has been the same whether they've won 6 in a row or we're losing 3 in a row. Another penalty marker is down. Stropolo missed the kick, so Evansville will undoubtedly refuse the penalty. Well, they may have to do it again if they say that play didn't count. They will mark the penalty, and we will kick it over again. Well, Stropolo won't mind that, considering he missed the first one.
Yeah, the false start, they don't get an option, so they'll back it up anyway.
Yep.
So Polo getting a little work here at the end of the regular season. And last time the Bucks played in Lake Charles, Polo had a big game. Now we got a little skirmish down in the end zone. Some pushing and shoving going on between the two teams. And
this is another thing, quite frankly, that the league needs to take a hard line on, and that is there are just too many of these things that go on. A 55-6 lead. Houma has fried Evansville.
Well, you know, the thing about it is that penalties can only do so much, you know. I mean, yeah, at some point you got to fine guys, you've got to eject guys, which is going to hurt their paycheck, or suspend them for games or things like that. You've got to come with a much stiffer penalty than just yellow flags on the field.
And it really mars what can be a very fine evening of entertainment in the National Indoor Football League. But unfortunately, these displays of unsportsmanlike conduct and fights are much too common.
I think
not so much with the Bucks. Now, Jack Phillips has a tight rein on this ball club, and he's got some good guys with which to work on his team. But we have seen some rather silly and nasty occasions this year. (55-6). The Bucks have erupted and lead it by 49 with less than a minute to go.
Now somebody's been ejected from the ball game. Couldn't get the number. There's no need for that, you know, especially in a 55-6 game. An extra point, no need for all the extracurricular. But they see a happy Jack Phillips, who's drying off a little bit. Got the Gatorade shower that was started by the New York Giants in the mid-'80s with Bill Parcells, when that became the thing to do. And now it's hard to have a football victory without getting a shower at any level.
It'll be a touchback. This Evansville team, despite its one win this year, has drawn a lot at home in its inaugural season. They get a winner there, Ronnie. That could be a very nice franchise.
Yeah, they definitely, you know, talking with the coaching staff before the ball game, you know, they know they've got to kind of regroup and put a much better football field on, you know, product on the field next year. And there'll be a lot of new faces in Evansville. But they had over 9,000 for a game. I think their first game of the year, and averaged over 4. So the folks up in Evansville, Indiana, are definitely giving the NIFL an opportunity to succeed there. Now it's kind of up to the Bluecats to learn from their first year and put a much better team on the field next year.
Well, Avery Adadero has got the credentials. He coached Tennessee last year to the playoffs, and he's had success everywhere he's gone. He's also the general manager, so he can make his own decisions and live with them.
Well, it doesn't help Evansville that they play in one of the toughest conferences in all of the NIFL. You've got Ohio Valley, who's undefeated, 12-0 in their conference. Lexington, who is trying to hold off Fort Wayne for the other fourth playoff spot. Tennessee Riverhawks are 500. Myrtle Beach has 5 wins. And Evansville's in the basement at 1-12. So a very difficult conference. That did not help Evansville this year, as they were a first-year franchise.
And hey, it's a basketball state. Jennings runs up over the 15 to the 17. half a minute to go in the regular season. The Bucks will be off next week, and they will go to Lake Charles for the first round of the playoffs. On the 12th of July, it will be the first playoff game in the 2-year existence of the Bayou Bucks franchise. And Houma takes a timeout. They want to get a couple of new players into the ball game.
Well, they had Rodemeyer left the field with his right arm a little bit banged up. So they got to sub in. There you see the Bucks at Lake Charles, July 12th. And if you're interested, if you want to ride down to the game, if you go by the Bayou Bucks offices here at the Houma Terrebonne Civic Center, or give them a call, 985-851-3600, 985 area code 851-3600, or you can go to BayouBucks.com to find out more. But they're going to take a party bus down to Lake Charles, and you can call and get some information on that. That's going to be an outstanding, where you're going to be able to have food and drink and ride down to the game in Lake Charles with a bunch of Houma Bayou Buck fans. Not have to worry about any of the driving and the tickets. They'll take care of all that for you. So if you're interested in going to that ball game July 12th, that's the way to go. Get on the Bayou Bucks party bus that's going to leave from Houma.
"16 seconds are left. 55-6. Houma has rolled. This is the biggest margin of victory this season for Houma. Roberson drops the snap. The ball is loose, and Houma recovers at the 15-yard line. Perhaps a fitting way to end the ball game. Roger Green comes up with that slippery football. There are 4.5 seconds remaining, and Houma has to put its offense on the field one more time. I have never seen anybody take a knee in indoor football, but we may have one here. It's actually illegal in some leagues. Tonight's game is brought to you by Copeland's of New Orleans, with locations in Houma and Lafayette, by the Cardiovascular Institute of the South, and by Terrebonne Parish and Houma, Louisiana, a great place to live and work. They're in the safety formation. Aubrey Jones takes the knee. And the season is over for Houma after 14 games. But the playoffs will be in 2 weeks. The final score, Houma 55, Evansville 6. We will return with a wrap-up from the field right after this timeout. Welcome back to the Terrebonne Civic Center. The Houma Bayou Bucks have swept their way to their biggest margin of victory this year, 55-6 over Evansville in the final regular season game. The playoffs loom in 2 weeks. Let's go down on the field. Here's Ronnie Rance with Coach Jack Phillips.
Thanks, Lynn. I'm down here with a very happy Coach Jack Phillips, and why not? The Bucks are headed to the playoffs. They're the number 3 seed. They'll be on the road at Lake Charles July 12th, and Coach, to the second half, really put the exclamation point on a fantastic year.
Well, I tell you what, I love when we're able to go in and make adjustments. As I told you at halftime, we wanted to come out and throw the football. Boy, did we do that well in the second half. Just wanted to be well-rounded going into the playoffs and come out of it without any injuries. So I'm very, very pleased with the fan base here, the organization, my ownership, the players, the coaching staff. Everybody's just been wonderful this year and allowed us to make a difference, between last year and this year.
This year you win 10 games, you double your win total from a year ago. You make the playoffs, and now you turn your attention to a Lake Charles team that, quite frankly, you guys have owned the last 2 times. It's going to be a war July 12th.
And it's going to be a war. Those guys get 3 guys back. Jacoby Austin, Mr. Young, the receiver, and Johnny Johnson, the all-star, everything quarterback. So they got 3 guys that they added to their squad that can definitely help them. We're going to have to bring our A game. We can't make as many mistakes as we made tonight, especially defensively.
Well, you've got a little good luck charm there on your arm there. Tell us about that.
This is my baby, Kelsey, and she's just enjoying the game. As you can see, she's bucked out. She's got everything on, and I just love the fact that we can do this for our fans, especially our loved ones like this.
Little family day here.
Absolutely.
Coach, congratulations on the great year. Good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's go back up to you, Lynn.
Ronnie, thank you very much. 55-6, the final score as Houma wins it. The first round of the playoffs will be July 12th. Houma will have an off day, an off weekend next week, and a couple of weeks to prepare for the division-leading Lake Charles Land Sharks, who have suffered only 2 defeats this year, both of them at the hands of Houma. Burks had a couple of touchdowns tonight. Hurd 2 touchdown receptions. Hughes an interception return for a touchdown. Causey had a touchdown reception. Chestnut with a touchdown run. As you see, Tyrone Hughes scoring from midfield after making his 7th interception of the season. And the Bayou Bucks roll, winning 55-6. We thank you for joining us. We'll be with you 2 weeks from today with more Houma Bucks action. This time, it'll be the playoffs. For Ronnie Rance, I'm Lynn Rollins. Have a great day, everybody. And good night from Houma, Louisiana.